Huntrix's goal in Kpop Demon Hunters is to create the Golden Honmoon, a barrier that will seal out the demons from the human world forever. But this plan was doomed to fail until the Saja Boys came along. Let's go for a walk and I'll tell you why. At the beginning of Kpop Demon Hunters, Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, who make up the K-pop group Huntrix, have been strengthening the Honmoon with their songs. The Honmoon is a barrier powered by the girls' voices that keeps the demons out of the human world. They need it to turn gold, and that will seal the demons out permanently. Otherwise, they're able to occasionally slip through. Even though the girls are supposed to be on a 2-week vacation at the end of their world tour, Rumi decides to immediately launch their new single, Golden. She does this because she thinks that this will help seal the Honmoon and turn it gold. But Rumi has an ulterior motive for wanting to seal the Honmoon right away. It turns out that she has demon patterns because her father was a demon, and Mira and Zoe don't know about this. Her mentor, Celine, told her that she needed to hide the patterns and not tell Mira or Zoe. So they're totally in the dark about this, and it turns out that the patterns are spreading. During the rehearsal for the live performance of Golden, Rumi's voice starts to fail and she's not able to continue singing the song. It turns out that her patterns have spread to her throat and her demon side is preventing her from being able to sing. So why am I telling you all this? Because all of this happened before the Saja Boys even came to the human world. Rumi's voice is already failing, meaning they won't be able to continue to power the Honmoon, let alone seal it. They don't really have a fix in place because the other girls don't even know about Rumi's patterns and don't know that that's potentially the problem. They decide to try doing a tonic, but it turns out that it's really just grape juice. So the tonics were probably not going to help. Okay, so we've established that the Honmoon was broken and was likely not to be able to be sealed even before the Saja Boys came along. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they needed the Saja Boys in order to seal the Honmoon, so where is that coming from? Well, of course, initially, having the Saja Boys come into the scene sort of unites the girls against them. They want to get rid of these rivals who are trying to steal their fans and are creating even more holes in the Honmoon. But that's not actually what helps them seal the Honmoon in the end either. Being united against the Saja Boys is not what brings the girls back together and helps heal Rumi's voice or seal the Honmoon. In fact, it brings them further apart. And it turns out Rumi's lies and hiding the truth from her friends is part of what's contributing to her voice problem in the first place. However, having the Saja Boys in the human world brings in Jinu, the Saja Boys' leader. Initially, Jinu finds out about Rumi's patterns totally by accident while they're fighting. He rips her sleeve and accidentally exposes the patterns. This leads him to decide that he is going to try to exploit whatever it is that she's hiding in order to make his job of stealing their fans easier and potentially breaking up Huntrix. So Jinu starts trying to meet up with Rumi in order to find out more about her patterns because he thinks that he's going to be able to use this to his own advantage. But this also gives Rumi the opportunity to talk about her patterns and talk to someone who kind of understands where she's coming from. And this opening up helps heal her voice. And at the end, she is able to sing Golden all the way through. Or we assume she would if the Saja Boys didn't then betray them. So without Jinu being there, she wouldn't have had her voice healed and they wouldn't have been able to seal the Honmoon. Now, of course, we know that singing Golden wasn't what ended up sealing the Honmoon because the Saja Boys did eventually betray Rumi and they were able to temporarily break up the group. But then Rumi embraces who she is and comes clean to her friends, tells them the truth, and they accept each other as family, and they're able to harmonize better, they're able to relate to the fans who are able to relate back to them. And let's not forget the most important thing Jinu does. When Rumi is facing off against Guima in the final battle, it looks like she is going to lose. So Jinu sacrifices himself getting between Guima and Rumi and giving her his soul, which ultimately is what lets her defeat Guima forever. And then the girls are able to create the Honmoon to seal the demons out of the human world. Well, as far as we know, I highly suspect there's going to be a sequel, and probably the demons are going to manage to get back to the human world somehow. So what do you think? Did Huntrix need the Saja Boys in order to seal the Honmoon? Or would they have managed to get past Rumi's voice issues somehow, even without them? Let me know in the comments, and please like and subscribe.